What's been happening with the US dollar recently? Why is it being abandoned by many countries? On March 27th, Saudi Aramco, the Saudi national oil company, announced two investments in China, totaling over 100 billion yuan, settled in renminbi. The first investment involves spending 24.6 billion yuan to acquire a 10% stake in a petrochemical company, even though the market value of that stake would only require 13 billion yuan. However, Saudi Arabia insisted on paying an additional 11.6 billion yuan to demonstrate cooperation and goodwill. To solidify the partnership, both parties signed a 20-year agreement, with Saudi Arabia committing to supply 480,000 barrels of crude oil to the Chinese company daily. The second investment amounted to 83.7 billion yuan, acquiring a 30% stake in a large-scale refinery and petrochemical project with a production capacity of 300,000 barrels per day in Panjin, Liaoning. In the past, when Saudi Arabia earned money from selling oil, they would purchase U.S. Treasury bonds, stocks, and other assets. Now they are directly investing in China. This indicates that China's significant energy transactions are gradually reducing their dependence on the US dollar. Historically, every time the US raised interest rates, it utilized the hegemonic nature of the US dollar to reap global wealth. As US interest rates increased, a substantial amount of US dollars flowed back to the US, leading to the devaluation and sell-off of assets in other countries. Then, as the US began lowering interest rates, US dollar assets took advantage of extremely low interest rates to obtain loans and easily acquire assets in those countries. Currently, the US is nearing the end of its interest rate hike cycle, and the market expects that it will soon inject more liquidity. Everyone knows the game plan too well, and to avoid being harvested by the US in the future, proactive action is necessary. Choosing to settle trade in renminbi as an alternative to a portion of the US dollar is a wise choice. But does the renminbi have the potential to become a new mainstream currency? In the short term, it is unlikely, but the international status of the renminbi has the potential to further improve. Therefore, the ideal scenario in the short term is the emergence of a multipolar currency landscape, where international currencies enter a state of diversification.